And I rise to address two issues this afternoon. The first is Amendment 1190, and I'll be quick as I can on this because I want to spend more time dealing with the Johnson Amendment, which I also will address. So Amendment 1190 really arises because of the very unusual procedural circumstances we find ourselves in. Madam President, as you probably know very well, for technical procedural reasons, the Senate has chosen to conduct the debate about the Corker-Cardin bill, the Iran Nuclear Agreement Review Act, on a House legislative vehicle that was sent over to us. But in order to do this, all of the language from the House bill gets stripped out and it goes away. That original House bill, it's H.R. 1191, it was Protecting Volunteer Firefighters and Emergency Responders Act. I want to talk a little bit about it, but here's my amendment. It's pretty simple. I just want to restore the language from that House-passed vehicle. It's pretty simple. I don't think it's controversial. Let me just sum up what this is about. This is a bill that was authored in the House by Congressman Lou Barletta from Pennsylvania, and it's just a bill that would protect volunteer firefighters from some unintended consequences of Obamacare. More specifically, it exempts volunteer firefighters from counting towards the trigger for the employer mandate. I don't think it was ever intended that volunteer firefighters would be counted this way, but nevertheless the danger arises because of an IRS ruling. So the IRS issued a guidance back in 2013 that suggested that volunteer firefighters would have to count any benefits they got as income. It gave rise to the question of whether they would be counted towards the Obamacare limit. They've gone back and forth. They have issued a ruling that says that volunteer firefighters would not be counted to triggering the number of employees that invokes Obamacare. But that is just an administrative ruling at this point. It could change at any point in time. And if it were to change, and if every volunteer fire department in America that had 50 or more volunteer firefighters had to be deemed to be an employer requiring a full Obamacare coverage, I dare say it would put out of business virtually every volunteer fire department in America, because none of these volunteer fire departments have the kind of money it would take to go out and buy health care for these volunteer firefighters, nor was Obamacare ever intended to cover these folks. This would be a huge problem, in particular in Pennsylvania, where we have 2,400 volunteer fire departments, more than any other state in the union. And we have over 50,000 volunteers in Pennsylvania alone, but there's over 750,000 nationally. So as I said, the IRS did give us a ruling that for now they won't deem volunteer firefighters to be employees for the purpose of triggering Obamacare mandates. But I would like, and I'm not the only one who would like to have this codified in law so that this danger goes away and that volunteer fire departments can continue to thrive. This passed the House unanimously. There's bipartisan support here in the Senate. I want to thank the chairman of the committee and the ranking member. My understanding is that there's no opposition from either of them to this amendment, which is very straightforward, and I'd be delighted with a voice vote when the time is appropriate for that. I'd be very grateful. And I've said my piece about the volunteer firefighters, but I do think it's a great opportunity to just get this taken care of.